All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about how to find a firm's optimal supply in the long run. And as we talked about last time, mechanically, the firm's decisions about output are basically the same in the short run as in the long run. Right? We're still going to have a cost curve. We have marginal costs like this. Right? And then we've got an average total cost like this. Right? The only difference is, in the long run, our average variable costs are equal to our average total costs because none of our costs are fixed, right? We have the option to just piece out of the market completely and not produce anything. And so for exactly the same reasons as in the short run, our supply of output is just going to be given by our marginal cost curve, right? This is going to be Q of P, as long as we have marginal costs and therefore price above average total costs, right? So we're going to do exactly the same thing as the long run as in the short run, but I want to walk you through the math again, because when we have these nicely downward sloping and then upward sloping average total cost curves, the math is a little bit more interesting. So to do this, let's imagine that we've got a cost function, a long run cost function, like C of Q equals 10Q squared plus 20, but now we're going to imagine that this is our firm's long run cost, right? Before this was our short run cost, so the 20 was a sunk cost or a fixed cost. Now nothing's fixed. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to find our marginal cost, right, which is just going to be 20Q. And we're going to say, if we decide to produce anything, we're going to produce where MC of Q equals P, right? 20Q equals P, Q equals P over 20, right? But will we produce anything? That's the key question. So if we're going to produce anything, we've got to be at a price below P min here, right? And as we can see from this graph, that also has to be at a quantity above what I'll call Q min. Cool? So this P min is the price below which we would have average total costs that are greater than price, right? So we'd make negative profits and we'd leave the market. But it's going to be really difficult to find price greater than average total cost as a general function because we need to calculate average total cost at a specific Q. The way that we can find this point, right, just as in the short run, is by saying that at this Q min, our marginal cost equals our average total cost. So we can find Q min by saying ATC of Q equals MC of Q. Right? Our ATC is going to be 10Q plus 20 over Q. So what we'll do is we'll say 10Q plus 20 over Q has to equal 20Q, right? I'm going to bring this over. So I'll say 20 over Q has to equal 10Q, right? 20 over 10 equals Q squared. Q min is going to equal the square root of 2. Cool? So this is root 2. How do we find our P min, which is what we actually want? Well, we can just plug that into either function we want, right? Marginal cost or average total cost. I prefer marginal cost. We say P min is the marginal cost of Q min, right? So this is just going to equal 20 root 2. So now we found our firm supply curve, right? We can say our supply Q of P is going to equal 0 if P is less than 20 root 2, and P over 20 if P is greater than or equal to 20 root 2. Awesome. And that's all there is to it, right? Now we figured out our firm's long run supply. It's basically the same deal as the firm's short run supply.